Today on Dylan Talks Tone, I'm going to show you what is in my to-go bag. So first of all, let me say as we get started that because all of my good stuff that I use on a regular basis to shoot all of my videos around here and everything when we take it on the road and go do trade shows and all that sort of stuff is all on this table, what I'm talking to you on for the first part of this video is just my iPhone X and then the Blue Snowball microphone. And we just did a video about how to actually use a Blue Snowball microphone to make your iPhone audio better, and we'll leave a link to that up here in one of those gray boxes. We just recently did that video. So that is not backpack to go gear that I use every day, but because I want to show you this other camera and microphone, that's why we have to do it like that. So let me show you. This is my #1 camera that I use for basically everything. This is a Panasonic G85, and the reason I like this camera is because it's 4K. It has a lot of features that make vlogging very easy and also shooting in the studio very easy. I use the kit lens. It does fine for me. There is a couple lenses I'd really like to get, but we'll make a video about that later. One of the biggest things I like about it is the fact that it has a flip around screen so that I can shoot by myself, because 90% of the time I'm shooting by myself. I put it on a Joby Tripod, and I like it because it's that quick. And in fact, this is not the only tripod that I use. I also use this tripod right here because it does that, and then it stands here like this, and I put a Joby adapter on the top of that so that I can move quickly from one to the other. This doesn't actually fit in the backpack, but most of the time I take it with me anyway, just in case I need it. Believe it or not, that Joby tripod on the bottom of that camera right there can do 90% of what I need it for, because you can wrap it around poles and you can hook it on stuff, and it works really well. We don't want to forget the audio that I use for the Panasonic G85. This is a Rode Video Micro, plugs right into the audio jack, and this works really well. For probably 90% of the videos that we do with that camera, I use this for audio. I know that it brings in some of the room and stuff, but I don't really care. It sounds really good. The audio works really well, and we could do a whole video on just camera settings and setup. If you want me to do that video in the future, let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll do just settings and stuff that we use for vlogging versus in the studio. I could do that video in the future. And those settings might actually, most of them will cross over to whatever camera you're using, even if you're using an iPhone. So before we move on to everything else, I'm going to go ahead and switch from the iPhone to the Panasonic G85, and let's keep going through this pile of stuff that makes it all go. How about, bam, just like that, we are on the Panasonic G85 with the Rode Video Micro on top, and we're on top of that tripod that I showed you with the 3 little feet. We'll talk about lighting in another thing because that's a whole nother ball game. But what I actually use for lighting when I go somewhere, so like let's say I'm in a hotel room or something, we have this little light, and this is got a dimmable, it's LEDs, and got a battery on the back, and I put it on this little suction cup thing so I can stick it to whatever I need to stick it to. And there's my lighting. Just a little temporary lighting that I use, or I'll use it for backfill sometimes. Most of the time when you're on the road, you'll sit like, you know, by a window or something where you can get as much natural light as possible anyway. So, all right, let's see, what else we got? When we're doing stuff with more than one person, or we're doing stuff where we have multiple inputs for audio, we use the Zoom H5 audio interface. We can put 2 XLRs into the bottom. This has interchangeable capsules on the top for different types of microphones, and it is basically like a 4-channel recorder with headphone monitoring and everything. It has compression, it has EQ, it has all kinds of stuff. This is like one of my favorite tools. With this and an iRig, I can actually do my live YouTube show on the road with just this thing, and an iPad. So really super cool. I love Love, love, love this little thing. Let's see. Let's talk more about the newest, coolest thing that I added to my collection lately. The MAVIC Air drone. This thing's pretty cool. The cell phone clamps in there, and the little arms go on there, or the little toggles go on there. And here's your control. And here's some drone, and it folds all up super tight and goes in a little case. You would not believe how small this thing gets, and folds up in a little case and goes in my backpack, and I take it everywhere with me. We've incorporated a few shots into some of our videos, and I'm working to do it more. This thing is super cool. I love it. Other camera. We have a couple more cameras. I have it on this little selfie stick thing. This is what you call your Sony Action Cam. This is the 4K version of this. I also have a 1080p one that I don't really use anymore. Great camera, image stabilization, really good audio. You could take this to a rock concert and record whatever you wanted. If you didn't want to do all this complicated stuff and all you had was this right here with that little puffball microphone, you would be able to do just about everything. For about the last year and a half before I got my Panasonic G85, many of the YouTube videos that you see on our channel were shot with this very camera right here. Super capable and waterproof. I don't have it here, but there's a case that goes in around this that is waterproof. Amazing camera. If you did this right here, put this on the table, started talking with that little microphone on top, or even without it, you'd be able to get 90% of what we do here done. This is a fantastic tool. That's why I never get rid of it. One of the ways we use that is with this right here. Take this little camera and put it on top of this Joby mount, and we can actually suction cup this to the vehicle, to the roof of the car, to a refrigerator, to, you know, make it really super versatile. Anything around you that you can actually use to mount this camera to, and it's super handy. This Joby suction cup mount thing also goes, sometimes it goes in my backpack, sometimes it actually goes in the truck, because we also have the super cool, we're gonna do a video just on this, the super cool Joby cell phone mount that your iPhone can go in. So you loosen the thing like this, and your iPhone goes in there, and then you can suction cup this to anything and be super versatile. Most of the time it's on the windshield of my truck. And so if you've seen Facebook Live videos and stuff from the truck, most of the time that's what we're using. One other camera that I have, I don't use it very often. I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate it more, but it takes a little bit more work, is this Samsung 360 camera. 360 video is one of those things that I think some people are really gonna catch on to it, some people aren't. I haven't found 100% a place for it in our content that we make, but I do have it because I want to try to experiment with it. And so if you have more questions about 360 video, let me know and we'll make some more specific videos. I've messed with it a lot, but it hasn't made it into our content yet. So this is less important to me, but I do take it because what if there's something that we want to shoot, then I can have it with me. We're not going to spend tons of time on this, but I have a bunch of filters for that camera. I have some filters for the drone. We have cards and memory cards and batteries and chargers and all the stuff to keep all this stuff going and charged. You can never have too many batteries, and you can never have too many memory cards. Don't forget that. I also bring an iPad Pro with me everywhere I go. The reason we use an iPad Pro is because processor is faster, and it allows me to do some things with video production on the fly if for some reason it's all I have. And it works really well. This is actually an LTE version. The reason we have an LTE iPad Pro is because we sometimes need to be able to do our YouTube show and upload videos and all that sort of stuff wherever we are. So I always want to have this thing with me so that we can do that. If you want, I can do a separate video on how to take your podcast mobile, how to take your little YouTube show mobile, and how to like put everything in a backpack and do a complete live broadcast with just your iPad. if you want to know how to do that, or your iPhone. If you want to do that, let me know in the comments. We'll make a video about that too, because it's pretty cool. And then of course, I got to bring my MacBook Pro everywhere I go because work. And I use this Porsche design, just because it says Porsche on it, 4 terabyte hard drive. That's kind of a joke actually, but it's really fast. It does work. We actually did a video about this on our Music and Mascara channel. I'll actually leave a link to that in the description below also, and one of those, maybe those little gray things up there. And I can't forget my backpack, my Thule Backpack. We'll leave a link to this thing in there too. It sounds dumb to leave a link to a backpack, but I've been living out of a backpack as a profession, either as a power sports, in the power sports industry, or in doing what I do now, or in the music business for probably 20 years. Having a good backpack that doesn't fall apart, that fits everything you need, and is small as possible is key. This thing is incredible. I'll leave a link to it. All the stuff that you just saw, plus all the chargers, all the cards, all the everything that goes around that, fits in this backpack, and it fits under the seat in front of you when you're on an airplane. All that stuff right there can go with me on an airplane, so I can be ready for whatever, whenever. The only thing that doesn't fit in here, to clarify that, is the tripod, that the monopod that is standing up with the camera on it. And what I do with that is I spin the head off and I put it in my checked luggage. But other than that, everything that you saw here, all this stuff fits in this backpack right here. Well, that's just a quick little rundown of the to-go bag that we use at Dylan Talks Tone and Music and Mascara. Actually, both channels we use all this stuff right here to produce these videos. We shoot on all this stuff and we edit on Final Cut Pro predominantly. I also have Adobe Premiere, but we predominantly use Final Cut Pro. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, if you have any questions about, you might say, you know what, that's a lot of junk. I want to make YouTube videos, but I do not want to spend all that money and all that time accumulating all that stuff. How can I do it very simply? Let me know in the comments and we can break any of this down. We could talk about how you could get similar results to what we have here with just a cell phone, or with just this little action camera right here, and maybe a little microphone, maybe with some various budget constraints or space constraints or whatever. You let me know in the comments and we'll make a video just for you that will help you to produce the content that you want to make for your YouTube channel. My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone. If you have any questions, like I said, put it in the comments. Hit the subscribe and the little bell and you'll know the next time we make a video just like this. And share this video and tell all your friends.